Welcome to Lake Travis ISD Matters. I am Marco Alvarado, the Executive Director for Communications and Community Relations for the Lake Travis Independent School District located in Austin, Texas. The purpose of our podcast is to take a deeper dive into matters that are important to our school community. Today, I'm joined by three very special guests. Before we jump into our latest episode, I'd like to invite each of them to introduce themselves.
Hi, this is Tasha Barker, Assistant Superintendent for Organizational Services.
And I am Laura Keough. I am the proud principal of Hudson Bend Middle School.
My name is Cally Conklin, and I'm a statewide education specialist in the Safe School Institute with Crime Stoppers of Houston.
Ladies, fantastic. Thank you so much for joining me here today on our podcast. So today we'll be talking about the 2025 Stakeholder Survey. So this is the second year that we will be engaging our stakeholders in this important initiative. So let me start by talking a bit about last year's survey, the Spring 2024 survey. We released a stakeholder survey to invite feedback from our community. And this was our first formal attempt to engage students, families, and staff in a continuous improvement model for our district. And so I want to start with Tasha Barker. Tasha, talk to us a little bit about that 2024 survey, kind of set things up for us and just talk about results and overall engagement, if you will, please.
Sure. So the intent of the survey was to be able to look at baseline data as it related to our strategic plan pillars. We have 5 strategic plan pillars, which are: we are one community, each belong, grow and innovate, prioritize wellness, and best-in-class education.
Fantastic. And so from that process, we identified 4 areas of recognition that we call the 4 R's. Can you tell our listeners what those 4 R's are?
Sure. Recognition, resilience, relationships, and respect.
So Tasha, thank you. That's a perfect segue to bring in Laura Keough. Laura, as you know now, is our principal at Hudson Bend Middle School. Laura, talk to us about some of the campus initiatives that you've put into place since the 2024 spring survey, and talk to us about some of the feedback and what strategies that you've implemented at your campus.
Absolutely. At Hudson Bend, I met with my administrative and counseling team to review the feedback that was given from our community and our staff. And we really wanted to put an intentional plan in place as we care about what our stakeholders are telling us. And so I'll just kind of go through each of the 4 R's and explain what we've focused on this year at Hudson Bend. For recognition, we really try to prioritize recognizing students and staff members. For our staff, I do staff shout outs, which is a Google form that allows parents and staff members to recognize outstanding contributions from our teachers. Each week, I get these shout outs and I feature them in my staff newsletter. And I also display a printed copy of the shout out in the front office. And so the staff really look forward to seeing those recognitions and giving shout outs to each other. And it's really created a positive environment across campus this year. For our students, we have started positive referrals on our student broadcast. So teachers and administrators, really any adult in our building, can write positive referrals for students that anchor back to our core values, which are safe, respectful, and responsible. And then each week, our student broadcast team shares those positive referrals out to the broadcast. And so the whole school gets to hear and see the great things that our students are doing. For resiliency, we have a couple of ways. I mean, there's many ways that we do this in our school, but one thing is we are fortunate to have 2 certified therapy dogs on our campus. Their names are Nala and Blue, and they provide comfort and support to students, but I think we've all been surprised at how much they've supported our staff members as well. We also have what is called the Buck Lounge, which is not new this year, but we've really tried to promote it even more to our parent community. And it's a resource center for our school-dependent kids, where there are donations where students can shop for essential items such as clothes, shoes, school supplies, toiletries, etc., if they have trouble accessing those at home. Oh, and then we did also make a staff Zen Den, which is very popular. And this just promotes the well-being of our staff so they can take a reset and have meetings in the Zen Den, or just go in themselves before work or after work before they head home. And we have a lot of teachers take advantage of that. For relationships, the third R, we do a student connectedness survey on campus twice a year, but this year, as a result of the Stakeholder Survey, we've really taken it up a notch. And so all students twice a year fill out a connectedness survey to state a peer and an adult on campus that they feel connected to. And if they do not have an adult on campus that they feel connected to, we send that name to all of their teachers, and then the teacher essentially signs up for that kid and intentionally builds a relationship with them since they don't have a connection on campus. For our staff, there are many ways we build relationships with our staff, but one that I think is important in regards to our stakeholder surveys is I do a quarterly survey with my staff, and it really checks in on their well-being. I ask them just their overall morale, how the quarter was, and then what went well that they want to continue and what positive changes they would like to see implemented. And I think my staff knows that we really read those and put into action their suggestions. And then finally, for respect, this is a big one for us at Hudson Bend. We actually completely reevaluated our core values and our tier 1 behavior system this year. We've worked with Emergent Tree, and we completely revamped and changed our core values to being safe, respectful, and responsible. And we have done so much work this year at Hudson Bend regarding these 3 core values, and just consistently giving instruction on how to have these behaviors rather than being reactive. We're being really proactive in teaching those core values to our students. And we've seen a really positive change.
Wow, that's awesome. Laura, I'm not going to lie to you. You had me at Zen Room. That's pretty sweet.
Zen Den.
Zen Den.
Marco.
I stand corrected. Zen Den. I will have to go over there and check that out myself if I might.
Yes, you should. You're welcome.
Well, thank you. Wow. I mean, those are some really, really actionable things, so to speak, right? That you've done in such a short period of time, which is very impressive. And as you know, a lot of our survey takers, staff and parents will say, "Hey, I took the time to submit all my, survey questions and even added some additional comments." And sometimes we hear that, well, they don't see some of that return, right? Or hey, I submitted all these suggestions, and what are you doing with the info? But golly, we can really see everything that you're doing at Hudson Bend Middle Schools. And we know other campuses are doing the same thing.
Absolutely.
So that's pretty amazing. Again, all that you've done in such a short period of time and how well those things are being received. But I want to toss it back to Tasha to talk a little bit about not just the campus level, but at the department level, because some of those same practices or iterations of those practices are also being implemented across our departments.
Sure. One example is in our transportation department. They have implemented Employee of the Month programs and appreciation events, one of which where on the side of the buses, they put who the bus driver of the month is.
Yes, it's amazing. I've seen one driving around.
Tasha, thank you so much for that insight. And again, it's great to see that this is happening district-wide, whether it's across our campuses, as Laura explained, or departments, as you highlighted. This is really taking shape, and it's great to see that it's not just a one-and-done initiative. But I now want to bring in a great community partner. Cally Conklin is with Crime Stoppers, and I want to talk to her briefly, or want her to share about the partnership that she has with our school district. And in particular, I'd like for you, Cally, to highlight the bullying prevention and kindness initiatives, which have been implemented since our survey was first done in 2024.
I'm really privileged to have been able to partner with most of your schools in your district. And my role in the Safe School Institute is to talk with students about a range of safety topics. In particular, I was brought in to discuss bullying prevention and our kindness or Be Nice mental health initiatives. So the kindness and Be Nice presentation that I got to cover at Lake Point Elementary and that I'll soon cover at Bee Cave Elementary really focused on how the students relate to one another. Things like what a healthy relationship looks like, and how to treat each other with kindness and empathy. And I have to say, the students were really, really receptive. So it was such a pleasure to do that. Some of the other presentations that I've been able to do have focused on bullying prevention. So when we talk to our students about bullying prevention, we really make sure that they know what bullying looks like and how to spot it, how to stand up for themselves and others. And also we really emphasize the importance of reporting when they see something happening. Some other things that I've been able to do, I had the privilege of visiting Hudson Bend Middle School, and I spoke to them not only about bullying prevention, but we covered our mental health awareness curriculum as well. So again, it was such a pleasure to work with your students, Laura. They were very kind, open, receptive. I've had nothing but really great reception from the staff and students throughout the entire district. So working at Hudson Bend was awesome. And I got to experience the Zen Den as well.
Oh, good.
I took 5 and I, took a breather in
That's
between
what it's
presentations.
there for.
Yes.
No, your presentations were very powerful, and our students were talking about it for a long time after your visits. So thank you for coming. Yeah.
That means so much to me. And I remember in particular, one of the students came up to me after the mental health one, and you could tell that she really, really didn't want to say anything, but I felt privileged that she did say something to me and that she brought up an issue she was having. And that happens to me a lot, where we talk about kind of all these really pretty serious and tough issues. And I really try to present myself with an air of non-judgment. And I always tell them, guys, I care so much more about helping keep you safe than I do about judging you or getting you in trouble, right? So I remember in particular a student coming up to me from Hudson Bend, and I was hopefully able to steer her in the right direction and get her talking to one of the counselors. Some other things that I've covered at Bee Cave Middle School, we talked about cyber safety, and I am going to go to their school in about a month's time or maybe 2 months' time to cover one of our most requested topics, which is social media and mental health, and the connection between viewing social media, being involved in social media, and the impact that it has on our students' mental health. So I'm really excited about that.
That's great. No, I mean, again, you pointed to some really specific initiatives. And again, I think I'm going to speak for myself and I think a lot of our listeners that don't see sometimes all the impact, right, that their feedback is having through these initiatives. I mean, the breadth and depth of these programs rather is impressive. There's so much happening, not just only for our staff, as Laura shared, but for parents as well, and for students directly, Cally, as you mentioned, which is fantastic.
So, Marco, I think it's really important to mention that at Crime Stoppers of Houston, we find our message and our programs resonate and are so much more effective and successful when we are able to bring in parents, also talk to the students, and also help train and raise awareness amongst the educators as well. So I think it's so great that you guys are surveying parents to get their input. And I've attended at least 2 parent presentations, and I have 2 more scheduled. So it's really impressive that your district is taking this approach as well. You guys really seem to be wanting parents' input, educators' input, and students. And we find that that's when our programs are most successful.
And if I'm not mistaken, you have presented, you should be getting close to almost 30 presentations across our district. And I want to thank you personally for customizing the training that's unique and the needs of each principal and campus. And I thank Crime Stoppers for allowing you to spend so much time in our district. So thank you.
Yes, it's been my pleasure.
Well, that's fantastic. Again, as we mentioned a minute ago, just there's so many things that are happening, not just at the campus level or at the department level, but across our district as a whole, with not only staff and parents, but also our students. And really at the end of the day, that's kind of why we're here and what we do what we do. So Cally, thank you so much for getting down into the specifics of what you're doing to partner with Lake Travis ISD through your Crime Stoppers program. It's been a wonderful partnership. And as Tasha mentioned, you've got a few more to go, and we look forward to that continued relationship that we have with you guys. So Tasha, let's bring it back full circle to the 2025 spring survey and kind of preview that for us just a bit, please.
Sure. So the window for staff, students, and parents will open March 10th and will close on March 28th. Staff and parents will receive an email from the district with a link to the survey, and students, campus principals will determine the date within the survey window and select the class in which the survey will be administered. Parents will have an option for their child to opt out of the survey if they so choose.
Fantastic. And as we close here, Tasha, tell us about what are the expectations for this year's survey?
So we aim to increase parent survey participation by at least 10%, ensuring that we have more voices. As part of our strategic plan, each of our 5 pillars includes performance objectives, and our goal is to see a 3 to 5% improvement in the survey results of us moving towards those goal performances. Your feedback is essential in shaping initiatives that directly impact our staff, students, and community.
That's fantastic. And so once again, the survey window is March 10th through March 28th. We have surveys for our, as you mentioned, our staff, right? And for our students as well. And for, of course, our parents. So anyone can take that survey. Actually, I believe it's students in grades 3 through 12 who can take that survey. As you mentioned, parents can opt them out if they so wish. But we look forward to some great engagement again. Again, great feedback from last year. And we've seen some great things already as you hear from our 3 guests today. And so we are encouraging our parents, our staff, and our students who, again, in grades 3 through 12 with parent permission to take the survey and to, let their voice be heard and to continue to share the things that they think are happening well at Lake Travis ISD and maybe where we can also see some improvement, right? Because as any good organization does, they can only get better as they see some marked improvement from year to year. And so this is a great time to share that feedback, so much going on. And so again, we encourage you listeners out there to take that survey again, March 10th through the 28th. I want to thank my 3 very special guests, Tasha Barker, Laura Keough, Cally Conklin. Thank you so much for your participation today. And that concludes another episode of Lake Travis ISD Matters. And we hope to have you back again for our next episode.